Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Chase, and today I'm going to be reviewing my absolute favorite Bible. This is the Allan 53 in navy blue goatskin. Comes in your standard Allan box. And here we are. This has the Highland goatskin, so you'll notice that it has a very pronounced grain. I really like the grain on this goatskin. It has some very unique markings on it, like this line here. So it's not embossed, so you're really going to get the texture of the goatskin in this Highland goatskin. And then we also have the stamping for Holy Bible, and then also on the spine in Concordance. And Allan, this stamping is very deep, and so the gold foil in there is it's very legible, even on Concordance. I mean, this is a very small font, but you can see that it's so legible. The edges are so clear on it, and because it's so deep, I think you can kind of see there, you're going to get some long life out of this. It's so beautiful because it's so well done. And then we have the tooling. We have a tooling line that goes around where the text block would be on the other side of the cover here. And then we have another tooling line along the perimeter. And the tooling line does extend around the back, and then we also have the tooled ribs, which are really nice. And then we also have these red crimson ribbons. They extend about 7 inches from the text block. So they're quite long, and being a ribbon guy myself, I mean, I really just enjoy these ribbons. They're double-sided satin. They're cut at an angle. These ribbons are just beautiful, beautiful ribbons. And then we've got the white head and tail bands. They're bright white. Absolutely beautiful. Let's see if we can get that to focus. There we go. And then we have, for the art gilt, we have red under gold. And this gold, there's something really special about this gold. It's so deep and rich. It makes me think that the gold foil that they used is maybe somehow thicker than what you find on other Bibles. It's something really special. And the red underneath is very bold. And then, of course, we can't forget that we have a full yap here. So it completely touches all around the Bible. It's beautiful. Didn't think I was a full yap guy until I got this Allan, and I've discovered that I am, in fact, a full yap guy. So this Bible is just fantastic. If you like yaps, Allan does a fantastic job with them. And then on the inside, we have a calf split liner. It's a soft texture. It's not very pronounced. And then we have the double gilt lines. So the gilt line on the inside is about where the text block is going to be. And then there's a second one around the perimeter. And then here you'll get a look at the corner work. It's done really, really well on these Allans. I think this is what you call pleating. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it's called. And then this, of course, it's edge lined and Smythe sewn on Allans. This end sheet, I don't know what this material is. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There it goes. I don't know what this material is, but it reminds me of the box that the Allan comes in. So it's kind of interesting. I haven't seen this kind of material on the in sheet on a Bible before, so very nice. All right, so let's go ahead and open it up here. So we get a couple pages of cardstock and our presentation page, family records, children, marriages, and then we get to Holy Bible. And you'll see it is laying flat on the title page. So this is, you're not going to have to work this one in to lay flat. You'll see that it is printed in the Netherlands on acid-free paper by Royal Youngblood. And this is bound by Chartfleet Bookbindery. All right. So, title page. Let's see here. Holy Bible, Authorized King James Version, appointed to read in churches by R.L. Allan and Son, publishers, London, Glasgow. So also the license is kind of interesting. The license, or the patent rather, is from Queen Victoria, and then the license was granted by Queen Elizabeth II. So a little bit of, I think that was in 2009, but the patent is actually from 1839. Kind of interesting. And then we have the Epistle to King James, our table of contents, chronological, and then alphabetical. And then here, this Bible does have self-pronouncing text. So here you're going to see the symbols and what they mean in terms of how you pronounce when you see them. And then here we're presented with some information on the reference system. And so this is kind of interesting. This is a complete revision of the existing reference system and the Oxford edition of the Authorized Version. So they omit purely verbal references, the more repetition of a particular word in an entirely different context, while on the other hand, the reference have been added with the most recent commentaries, where these have seemed to be of value to the general reader. And there's some more information, but that gives you an idea of what kinds of references you're going to see. Subject references. And then here's a little bit of information on the abbreviations you're going to see in the references and what they mean. Couple ones to point out: the citation. So when the author is quoting another part of the Bible, you'll see citation in bold, and then the book and the chapter and verse that citation is coming from. You'll also see Greek and Hebrew translations, references to the Septuagint, and renderings from the Revised Version, among some other things. The references, there are 100,000 references, center column references, and they are chain references. So this paper, let's talk a little bit about this paper. This is 36 GSM paper. It is India paper, highly opaque. I don't think this is edge-lined, but you can see that the opacity of this paper is really well done. It's fantastic paper. I would really like to point out about this paper a couple of things. One, it's very easy to turn. You hardly have to fight with this paper at all. Even if you do pick up a couple of sheets, it's so easy to just spread by rubbing your fingers together. I mean, I just have no trouble with this paper at all. It's just wonderful paper. And the most interesting thing about this paper is the strength. It has a a structure to it that it just wants to stay straight. And it's not flopping around. It holds its shape. So when you're carrying this Bible around, it, even though it's a 36 GSM Bible, the text block is 1.5 inches thick. It's so easy to carry because of its strength. It's not flopping around. I think it has a couple of reasons for that. One is the paper. It has the strength to it. The full yap, I think, plays a part in that as well, because it just kind of sits in your hand so nicely with that yap rolling around the text block. So I can't say enough about this paper. I was super impressed with this paper. It's actually my favorite paper in a Bible now, followed by the Cambridge, the paper that's in the Cambridge turquoise. Really like that paper too, but this is even better. Just the structure of it, I can't explain it. I've never seen it in a Bible like that before. So as I said, the text block thickness is 1.5 inches. The width you're going to see here, this is 6 inches, and the height is 8.5 inches. So it's a large Bible, but it's by no means extra large. So it's very, very portable for being a regular sized Bible. All right, so let's go back. Let's see, where were we? I got sidetracked by the paper. Incredible paper. All right, so again, sits flat in Genesis. I mean, it's just amazing, the binding on this Bible. So let's talk a little bit about the typesetting here. This typesetting was originally produced in 1952. Allan calls this a large clear type print. This font it's so beautiful and easy to read. I absolutely love this font. The width of it, the number of characters, the size. I mean, it is just a joy to read from this Bible. We do have verse by verse, and then we have pilcrows, and then again the center column references. And these are chain references. So you may get, depending on the reference, you may get one reference, which might be pointing forward or backward, or you'll get two, one pointing forward and one pointing backward. And then you have to go to one of those references to get the next one. So if you're not familiar with chain references, that's how that works. It does keep the number of references a little bit cleaner than you might see in other reference systems, but there's also a downside, because you actually have to turn through your Bible to those different references to get all of them, where in some non-chain reference systems you're going to get most of them, if not all of them, in one spot. So that's something to consider, if you're looking at the reference system, if the chain references may or may not be your thing. If they are, great. If they're not, it's definitely not a deal breaker for me. I love this Bible, and even though chain references aren't my favorite, you can work with them, and some people might actually love them. So just something to think about, the type of reference system it has. And then let me see if I can find, let me go to the New Testament, see if I can find an Old Testament quote. All right, so here's an Old Testament reference right here. All right, so we can see that here, the voice of the one crying in the wilderness, make straight the way of the Lord, is from Isaiah 43. So they put those in bold, and I really appreciate that. And here's another example. We see a textual difference here for Bethany. So just to look at the reference system, and then let's get back to Genesis. Okay, so again, verse by verse, pilcrows. The bottom corners, we're going to see the page numbers. And then we're going to see the subject of the page in the center. And then on the outside corners, we'll see the book and the chapter. And something that's also interesting in this Bible, let me go forward a little bit because it doesn't start immediately in Genesis. But you'll see at the top of the center column there, it says 21st century BC. So we get some dating. We get some dating throughout the Bible. It doesn't date creation, but most of the pages after that, you're going to see some dating, which is really nice. To just kind of keep things chronological in your head of where you are. So we can see the crucifixion of Christ in AD 33. All right, so let's see. I forgot to mention. So between the Old and New Testament, we do get a New Testament title page, which is nice, appointed to be read in churches. Oh, and something else that's kind of interesting here is it says it's translated out of the original Greek, and with the former translations. So the translation takes into account the translations that came before it and actually uses them as well, which is kind of interesting. If you're new to the King James like I am, that kind of stuff is interesting. That actually brings me to something to point out, that the translator to the reader is not in this edition. So if that's something you're looking for, you're not going to find it in this edition. Okay, so after it's a black letter text, by the way, so there's no words of Christ in red. So let's get to the end of Revelation, and then we get into the dictionary of proper names. And after the dictionary of proper names, we get into the subject index, this is so useful if you're wanting to study something in particular. Look at God here. Omniscient, omnipresent, unsearchable, holiness, justice, knowledge, wisdom, and power. I mean, there's so much here. This is like a study Bible. There's so much good information here. The gospel of Christ, heaven. So subject index is really, really nice. And then after the subject index, we're going to get into the concordance. All right. So here's the concordance. Concordance starts on page 85 and it goes to page 245. So I think that's about 160 pages. That's a decent sized concordance. And then we have the Bible maps. And these maps, one thing that I actually really appreciate about these Allan maps is how clean they are. These maps, the best way I would describe them is classic. They're not, they're subtle in the colors that they use, and they're not oversaturated. They're actually really beautiful. And you'll see that these maps, even though they expand across 2 pages, they do not go into the gutter, so you're not missing anything. I really appreciate how they do that. Beautiful maps. And after the maps, we get a map index. And then after the map index are 32 sheets of lined paper, a couple pages of cardstock, and that's the Bible. Just to reiterate, this is such a fantastic Bible. If you are a reader of King James, this is such a beautiful Bible that you should definitely consider. I mean, the quality of this Bible is I believe this is just unparalleled to anything else on the market. And there might be some deal breakers for some, but for me, overall, this is such a wonderful Bible. And I think it's a treasure that you'll be able to have in your collection for a lifetime. And at least that's my intention with this Bible. Absolutely love it. If you had any questions about this Bible that I didn't answer, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll include a link where you can purchase this Bible from R.L. Allan. I think right now it's either 170 or 175 pounds. So if you're not in the UK, then there'll be some conversion for that on the currency. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching the video, and please like, share, and subscribe. I'll have some more reviews coming soon. A few things that I'm looking at reviewing is the Archaeology Study Bible from Crossway for the ESV, and I have a couple of personal size Bibles. They're not premiums, but they're very nice, and something you might like to have handy just for carrying around or being on the go. So keep a lookout on those videos soon to come. Until then, take care and God bless.